Unitarian Universalism is a religious tradition founded on covenant and promises that we make to one another. Ours is not a religion based on creed or dogma. Instead, we follow and seek to affirm and to work toward 7 principles, potentially soon to be 8, that we dedicate our lives to and that we use as guides in our decisions and our daily lives. I hope in this video that you'll get a brief introduction to each of them and also ponder a question that accompanies each principle. Our first principle is that we affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We believe that everyone is born worthy and that it is not based upon their deeds. This stems from our religious forebears who believe that all people had the light of God or goodness born within them. Who is it difficult for you to connect with their inherent worth and dignity? And what can you begin to do to change that? Our second principle is justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. We believe that the way to change and to resolution of differences and conflict is through having increased understanding, creating equitable conditions, and experiencing compassion, extending compassion in all of our relationships. Here in our fellowship hall, that happens both within our congregation and beyond our walls as we prepare to welcome for temporary housing an Afghan family of refugees. Compassion. When have you witnessed, been the beneficiary of, or been a part of the transforming power of compassion in human relations? Our third principle is the acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. Religious pluralism, theological diversity, and recognition of the value of that rich, rich diversity of belief and of thought, of life experience, the differences of all of who we are and accepting those things, embracing them. We value diversity. We support one another in our faith journeys and in all of life's ups and downs. What practices or connections help you deepen your spiritual development and connections and relationships here at FRS? Our fourth principle is a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We believe that there are many paths to truth and that it is each individual person's right and privilege to find their path. This is a lifelong process for all of us. It is a search that is as much about the questions and the process as it is about ever necessarily finding the one right answer. How do you incorporate learning, ongoing learning, into your spiritual development and your faith journey? How do you do it in a way that allows you to continue to grow, to deepen, and to become who it is that you are striving to be? Our fifth principle is the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. As Unitarian Universalists, we act on our beliefs and we work to hear and learn from everyone's voices. We employ the use of the democratic process in terms of discernment, deliberation, and decision-making within our congregation, in our families and other organizations of which we are a part, and we support the health of the democratic process in our society. Whose voice is missing in your life or thought process? Do you need to extend your own voice and participation more in a democratic process? Or do you need to listen more and allow others to step forward? Our sixth principle is the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all and for all people. As overwhelming as this world can be with all of the various issues that are going on and so many needs to be addressed, we still believe that it matters what we do and how we choose to invest and spend our time and our talents. We do all that we can to create a world that is built on a foundation of peace and freedom and justice for all people. How do you put your passion for justice and world peace into action? Our seventh principle is respect for the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part. We know that our actions affect the earth and all sentient beings, people, animals, and plants, nearby and across the globe. This has most recently been reinforced and experienced by the COVID pandemic. We know that how we live our lives does not just impact ourselves, but indeed it does affect all of reality of which we are a part. What pains you about the conditions that are facing our earth? And what steps are you taking to turn your pain into good purpose and use? And in addition to our 7 principles adopted in 1984, there is an 8th principle project that is underway, which some congregations have already voted to approve and to affirm as a part of their principles, and that our entire association will consider at some point in the near future. The 8th principle project states, "We, the member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association, covenant to affirm and promote journeying towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions." The BLUU, Black Lives Unitarian Universalists, write, "Beloved community happens when people of diverse racial, ethnic, educational, class, gender, abilities, sexual orientation, backgrounds, and identities come together in an interdependent relationship of love, mutual respect, and care that seeks to realize justice within the community and in the broader world." How is your life being positively affected by the work our congregation and the Unitarian Universalist Association are doing for racial justice and to create the beloved community? I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about the principles of Unitarian Universalism, and that you will take the time to reflect upon these questions and develop your own ways of assessing and seeing how you can apply these principles in your daily lives and throughout all that you do. My friends, none of us will ever arrive, and it is not about perfection, but indeed it is about working towards progress and working to affirm and promote these principles in our lives.